hometown, 2001 Northeast 23rd Street, between hours, and they will close at midnight. Johnson Sardinas, 1643 Northeast 50th Street in Oklahoma City, and 2611 North Martin Luther King are now taking in people. I'm talking about young people. I'm talking about those children that you want to see that they are trained properly. Here's a telephone number, 424-4656, and ask for Mrs. Gloria Matthews or any member of her staff that will take care of you. Paul Matthews says that he enjoys picking up your children because he does it in such a professional way. Johnson Shardina, 1643 Northeast 50th Street in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Today's program is very important because we are going to talk about something that we all will have to do. We are talking about preparation for death. Did you realize that you are going to die? What preparations have you made for your own death? I'm not talking about your spiritual preparation. I'm talking about the preparation that you will be put away in a manner that you would like. Now, since I'm not familiar with the subject, I have invited a very expert that will be here today to help discuss that subject. Not only that, in the next few weeks I will have experts here that will discuss that. What about your death? What preparations have you made for your death? Have you checked your own insurance policies? Have you made arrangements? What do you want to happen at your own funeral? Well, this is the Clara Luper radio show, and I'm dealing with a subject today that affects all of us, but none of us like to talk about it. None of us like to do anything about it. Someone said, I don't believe that. We are willing to do something. All we need to do is to know exactly what to do. Some big things are happening in Oklahoma City that I want you to be aware of. I want you to certainly to be educated on what is happening in your own city. Today we would like to salute the Oklahoma City Alumni Chapter of the Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, because on Friday, October the 26th, they will present the 4th Annual Scholarship and Masquerade Ball. It will be at the Ramada Inn in that beautiful Stars Room. You know, that's the old Lincoln Plaza, the old Clara Hotel. Friday, October the 26th, 2001. Music be by the Class Act Band. There will be door prizes, the best costume contest. You wear your best costume and don a mask. You really want to enjoy yourself. Let me tell you, call Gina Bostic, who is the chairperson. The telephone number is 341-1033. Let me repeat that. Call Gina Bostic, 341-1033. Or you may call Betty James, the co-chairperson, at 755-0486. Celebrate Halloween in grand style by attending the 4th Annual Scholarship and Masquerade Ball, Friday, October the 26th, from 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. They will have hors d'oeuvres, you'll have a cash bar, and you do it all for the small price of $25 per person. I know you need to do something tonight. Well, tonight, there's a big scholarship fundraiser sponsored by E.J. Robinson, chapter number 147 of the Oklahoma Eastern Stars. There will be fashions by Byron and Company. Coslow's Furs, Susie's Accessories, Mary Kay Cosmetics. Saturday, October the 20th at 7 p.m. at the Ramada Inn, located at 4345 North Lincoln Boulevard. Now, when you get there, go to the Cherokee Room. They have refreshments and they're giving away some door prizes that are out of sight. Did you know that Esther Pickens is the founder of the unique chapter of the Eastern Stars? Did you know that? Did you know that Wilma Ray is a worthy matron? And this year, a student at Langston University, Lakeisha Lewis, is the recipient of the scholarship. Congratulations, Lakeisha, and congratulations to Mrs. Esther Pickens and Miss Wilma Ray. Mrs. Maxine Stale would like to thank all of you for your support of the Catfish Dinner on last Saturday. She says that this Saturday she will not be selling catfish, but those of you that would like to be a part of helping the NACP Youth Council, all you will have to do is to, if it's a check, drop it at Robert Gates Barbershop in case that the NACP office is not open. You know, we operate on volunteer time. Robert Gates is a barber that we like to talk about because he's located in the heart of the East Side, 2609 North Martin Luther King. If I were going to make up an ad for Robert Gates, I would say, don't wait, go to Gates. Don't wait, go to Gates. Go to Robert Gates at 2609 North Martin Luther King in Oklahoma City and get the kind of haircut that you want. A haircut that will suit your personality and make you look like that handsome person that you are. You would just say, I have a job. I'm going to make you beautiful. And you don't have to wait at Gates. 2609 North Martin Luther King. You don't have to call. All you have to do is to go in. It's quite interesting to see what's happening in Oklahoma City, to see the progress that we are making. And a lot of people say that we are not making progress. Well, maybe that's the way you see it, but I know we have come a long ways in Oklahoma City. We still have a long ways to go, but thank God we have come a long ways. On behalf of Robert Gates at 2609 North Martin Luther King, hometown at 2001 Northeast 23rd Street, on behalf of Tom's Barbecue, 2504 Northeast 10th Street, on behalf of Maryland Hildred and Allstate Insurance Company with April Hildred and the entire gang, they would like to say thank you for your business. Thompson Chardinas, Mrs. Gloria Matthews, Mr. Paul Matthews, and Miss Smallwood, and all of them say thank you, thank you, thank you. We have so many things to tell you about this morning until we are just thrilled to death that you are here with us, and together we can share not only our happiness, but we can share our tears, we can share our dreams and our hopes. The Greyhoff Club met last night, and the president, Mr. Gene Ford, was very specific about what he wanted to do. They made plans for the annual Christmas party, and they were still talking about that family party by the Grayson Hoffman Club. It's interesting to know that the people from Grayson and Hoffman still get together. And those people can get together and they can talk about things that nobody else would enjoy, nobody else would appreciate, because they haven't been to Grayson and they haven't been to Hoffman. But Mr. Gene Ford and Mrs. Johnny Nixon say be sure and contact them so you can have information about the annual Christmas party. They want you to start in time so you can be ready, because that party is always one of the highlights of the season. This is Clara Luper, and there's going to be a parade in Oklahoma City. I'll be telling you more about it. Silliman Hale Jr. is the district executive for the Boy Scouts of America, and he will be telling you more about it real soon. And we are very excited about it because we do need our Boy Scout troops. We do need every organization as possible to make our city a better place in which to live. Clara Luper reporting. You know, when we think of the Clara Luper radio show, there are some people that we've just got to think of. And we lost one of our ardent listeners this past week. Mr. Virgil Robertson, who has always listened and recorded the Clara Luper radio show, went home to be with his Savior. You will remember Mr. Robertson, many of you, because of his carpentry ability. Maybe you will remember him because you grew up with him in the Chandler, Oklahoma area. You remember him as a student at Western High School, and you remember him in Oklahoma City. But most of all, you will remember him by his beautiful, loving wife, Juanita. Juanita and Virgil was married December the 30th, 1936. They took those holy vows which says, to death we will be together. And they stayed with each other from 1936 to 2001. 65 years they were together. But on Tuesday, it will be goodbye to Mr. Virgil Robinson. Calvin, you knew him. What do you think? We have a call on line one.
Yes, ma'am. Mom, I knew him, know him, and still feel the effect of his teachings and his inspiration. And I'd like to go into more detail about that in just a few minutes. But, Mom, we have a long distance call on the line. It's going to be a definite surprise to all of the listening audience out there. But I want to first of all say good morning to you. Good morning, Oklahoma City. Good morning, KTLV staff, family, and friends. This will be a very blessed show. This will be a very different show. You know why? Because by now you've called that friend, you've called that neighbor, and you've invited them to be a part of this, the best show in radio. So, got some good things going on.
We really have.
Let's take this call.
Okay.
Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Well, fine. That's my baby.
Yes, it is, Mom.
No, that's Mark's wife.
From me?
Huh?
Are you surprised to hear from me?
I am really surprised to hear from you.
Well, it had been a long time since I got to say hello to the listeners of the Clara Luper radio show. So I thought I couldn't let this opportunity pass me by.
Well, thank you so very kindly. I know the people in Oklahoma City would be very pleased. Where's the doctor?
The doctor is at the hospital making rounds.
Oh, great, great. I know you have a report for me today.
Yes, I do. I'm so excited. I have my own business here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area doing public relations consulting. So I've been blessed to keep steady work going, and it's a great event coming up on Saturday, October the 27th, called Girlfriends Coffee Talk.
What is that?
It is the launch of a new national book club that's being started by Donna Richardson Joyner, who's the national fitness expert and wife of radio personality Tom Joyner, along with Pat Smith, who's the wife of Emmett Smith and former first runner-up to Miss USA, as well as Cara Scott, a local business executive. So we're having this gala launch on next Saturday from 4 to 7 p.m. in Dallas. So if any of the Oklahoma City listeners will be in Dallas next weekend, I certainly invite them to come out. It will be at the Convention Center Theater, the Dallas Convention Center Theater, and our special guests include nationally renowned author Sister Soldier, along with several Dallas authors who will be there to discuss their books and how aspiring authors can go about getting their books published and how to start book clubs.
All right, now you're telling me that you're in public relations
Yes, I am.
and you're with what group again?
My group is called Power Moves Public Relations, and I'm working on an event called Girlfriends Coffee Talk.
Girlfriends Coffee Talk.
Yes,
Talk.
yes,
And it will be in Dallas at the convention center.
yes.
Well, you live in Denton. How did you get involved in Dallas and Fort Worth?
Well, the Metroplex here is growing so fast that Denton has almost become a suburb of Dallas. And we attend church in Arlington, so we're throughout the Metroplex quite frequently. And through word of mouth, I was given the opportunity to make a proposal for this project, and mine was accepted.
Oh, wonderful. Now, you say Emmett Smith's wife.
Yes, Pat Smith.
She was formerly what?
She was formerly first runner-up to Miss USA.
Oh, yes, I remember quite well.
Yes,
And
from
you,
Virginia. She was Miss Virginia.
yes. And who else will be there?
Clara Scott, who's a local business executive here, as well as Sister Soldier, which some people may remember her from her rap career. And she's also become a activist that focuses on women's issues and really motivating especially college African-American girls to develop into all that they can be. And she has a new book out called The Coldest Winter Ever. So she will be here to discuss her book.
Okay, so you will be, and that will take place at the convention center in Dallas.
Yes.
Since you've been in the Dallas Fort Worth area and in Denton for how many years now?
It's been about a year and a few months, actually.
A year and a few months.
Yes.
Okay, now tell me about the doctor, Mark Wilson.
The doctor is doing well. He is obstetrician gynecologist in private practice in Denton, Texas, and he's with a practice called Cummings and Associates, and they're the largest practice in this area of Texas. So his practice is growing. He's doing well. He would sure want to let everybody in Oklahoma know that he appreciates their support.
Oh, well, that's wonderful. And you all have made a lot of friends since you've been in that area, right?
Yes, we have.
Well, that is wonderful. Well, Marilyn, your sister's listening because this week Marilyn had all of us in school down at OSU.
Great, I heard about that. I'm excited to learn even more.
Well, you will be hearing more about it because Marilyn is trying to get her gumbo on the market.
And very well she should, because it's the best gumbo I've ever tasted.
Oh, well, great. And you've traveled a lot, and that's the best you've ever tasted.
Yes.
Okay, now, since you've been gone, I know you've become deeply involved in your church work there. What all are you doing?
Yes, I'm a member of Agape Christian Fellowship, which is in Arlington, Texas. And I handle all of the public relations activities for the church and for our Bishop Terry Hornbuckle and Pastor Renee Hornbuckle. Mark and I both work with the bookstore at our church, which is called the Agape Shop. And we also have a huge women's conference each year called Women of Influence. And I work on the Women of Influence Advisory Board and also handle all the publicity for that conference.
What activities do you have in your church?
Oh, wow. We have every activity that you can imagine. We have about 30 different departments that people that are members of the church can volunteer to work in, from children's church to our high school program. We have mentorship programs. We have security programs. We have an audio-visual department, a media department. We have an outreach ministry, evangelism team. We have for women, our Women of Influence conference. We have a women's ministry. Of course, there's a men's ministry. But as a part of the women's ministry, we also have a ministry for women who stay at home as full-time mothers, as a support group for them, and to also receive mentorship from other mothers. And then we also have Women of Wisdom, which is a women's group that of women over 50 years old, and they meet for a fellowship. And then we also have a brown bag seminar, which is for women in corporate leadership positions or who are entrepreneurs that meet to network with each other. We have a big fall harvest coming up on the 31st of this month, where it'll be just like a fair almost. They have a petting zoo that'll be there, all kinds of rides and games and everything that you can imagine we'll have there at the ministry. We have a singles ministry. The singles ministry goes on a big cruise every year and partner with some other ministries. And so there's certainly an opportunity for people to become involved in the church.
Tell me about your food program.
Our food program?
Yes.
Well, we have several food programs. We have, of course, our pantry, where we provide food to people that are in need. And then we also have a culinary program. We have two full-time chefs that work at the ministry and do catering for special events and activities that we have at the church. And that also help train other people who are interested in developing their culinary skills to become caterers or chefs in your larger restaurants.
How many people do you have employed at the church?
Our church currently has about 12 people on staff, so we're a small staff, and there are about another 12 who volunteer each week.
About how many members do you have?
We have 2,000 members.
2,000. I know when we were down there, I was so impressed with the high school students. It was just like passing at a ball game.
Yes, we do have a very large youth ministry at our church, which is awesome because there are a lot of activities for the young people to get involved in. So we don't want our young people to have to turn to the streets or negative influences for activities. So we have plenty of things for them to do and become involved in at the ministry.
How about the senior citizens?
The senior citizens, yes, also. Again, we have our Women of Wisdom. And we don't like to say our senior citizens, but they are women of wisdom who meet. And then there are also different men fellowships that meet.
Shelley, it's so great to talk to you.
It's great to talk to you.
And I know it's a young lady from Oklahoma City that works for your church.
Yes, Lisa Fuller, a graduate of John Marshall High School.
Wow.
Yes, and she does work full-time in the ministry.
Okay, what did she do there at the church?
She works in our administrative office, and it's really hard to say exactly what Lisa does because she does so much for us. She does all of the scheduling to Pastor Renee, so she works very closely with Pastor Renee there at the church. And both our bishop and pastor have very, very busy travel schedules. They speak probably 3 times a week in different ministries throughout the country, so they stay really busy. So Lisa's key in helping all of that stay organized. And then she works with a couple of different ministries there also.
I know the people from John Marshall High School would be very happy to hear that.
Yes.
Shelley, let's go back to the affair that you're having next week.
Yes.
Okay, tell me about it.
The Girlfriends Coffee Talk, again, it's set up to encourage women to form book clubs and reading groups and to really enjoy that time with other women. We often get so busy with our own lives and being wives and being mothers and being corporate women and being involved in the community that it's important for us to take a little time out for ourselves and just enjoy a little time of relaxing and relating with other women. So that's what the event is also about. We'll also be raising money for reading scholarships to provide book club materials for children in elementary, junior high, and high schools, so that they won't have to worry about trying to find the funds for books or refreshments or fun activities surrounding that. So we want to show young girls that reading is cool, it can be a cool thing, and to really foster that love of reading. So it is a fundraising purpose as well.
I was out at Langston University yesterday, and I have some special hellos from people at Langston University for you.
Oh, great. You know, it's such a small world. I was up at the University of North Texas yesterday, and I met one of the faculty members there, and her name is Dr. Hill, and she was wearing her Langston University sweatshirt. So I was very surprised to be at North Texas and see someone wearing their Langston sweatshirt, and so we talked and had a great exchange, and I'm sure she'd want to tell everyone in Oklahoma hello also. She was telling me about all the great developments and the new construction that's going on at Langston, and we talked about Langston so much that we had several of the North Texas students say they wanted to transfer and attend Langston.
Well, I know Dr. Holloway would really love that,
Yeah.
along with that entire staff. Shelley, it's been a pleasure to talk to you this morning, and thank you. I'm real proud of you. And remember, you got your start here in Oklahoma City.
That's right. I can never forget that. So thank you, Oklahoma City. That's why I wanted to call in this morning and say hello.
And Calvin has something he wants to say.
Right, Shelley, you know what to tell Mark, don't you?
Tell Mark. What should I tell Mark?
That all us Omegas up here miss him, and we really need him back here in Oklahoma. Do you think there's a possibility we can get Mark back here in Oklahoma City?
I don't know. Things are going so well with him. He's been hanging out with Emmett Smith and Deion Sanders and Michael Irvin. He played golf yesterday with a bunch of former NFL and NBA players, and he's loving life down here. His practice is growing, so I think it's going to be a little hard to pull him away from here.
Oh, that's good. Well, his dad and I and all of us, we miss Mark. But give him a big hug, give him a big Oklahoma kiss for us, will you?
Okay, I sure will.
All right, love you dearly.
Love you too.
Well, thank you, Shelley.
Thank you.
Okay, this is a Clara Luper radio show, and that's Shelley Wilson. And she wanted me to be sure and remind you that she is Shelley Wilson. Shelley Luper, Shelley Wilson.
Right, Mom, we were talking before that call, though, about Virgil Robertson.
Yes, Calvin, but did you know that Mr. Robertson worked at Tinkerfield as a carpenter? Did you know that he worked in Oklahoma City not only as a carpenter but as a building inspector in 1980? And
no, I didn't know he was an inspector.
He sure was. Okay, and he has two lovely children, Shirley, who now lives in Sacramento, and his son Richard, who lives in Oklahoma City.
All right. I know that's a beautiful family, a wonderful, wonderful family, and I want to express my personal sympathies, and along with the sympathies, of course, of the radio show. And those of us who had opportunity to know him, we had to love him because he was mostly right, and that's a good thing you can say about people. When he gave you advice, it was some good sound advice, something that you could actually take with you and consistently remember. And I appreciate over the years, you know, he listens, he loves the Clara Luper radio show, and he's been a part of this radio show since the very beginning. And every so often we get a call, you know, a little suggestion down to Calvin. I don't know, you weren't talking too clearly. You need to get closer to the mic or something like that. He'd say something, but I knew and I know that he's with us and is still a part of it. So my heart really goes out not only for losing a good friend, but losing a faithful and a dedicated and a good listener to the Clara Luper radio show right here on 1220 and on the other stations we've been on. He's been right there with us, Mom.
His funeral will be Tuesday at 11 a.m. at 25th and Bryant here in Oklahoma City. That's the Church of the Living God. That's
what time is that?
That's 11 o'clock on Tuesday.
All right.
This is the Clara Luper radio show, and don't forget, I told you about the OES, Oklahoma Eastern Stars, chapter number 147. That's tonight at 7 p.m. It's a scholarship fundraiser, and you need to be there.
Now, what was Mrs. Ray doing with that?
Mrs. Ray is
Wilma Ray.
She's a worthy matron. Okay. Lakeisha Lewis will receive the scholarship tonight, who's a student at Langston University. Cameron, you need to go to Langston and see those new dormitories. I don't know what you would call them, apartments, the scholars. Oh, it's something. I
like going. I was at Langston. I looked at the new bridge that crosses the lake there that a good friend has worked so hard for, and is now a reality. Oh. And that's Cornell Nash. I'm thinking of calling that bridge the Nash Bridge, but I remember before the lake was there, the times that at Langston when we all be walking across there going down to Stark's restaurant where they had some of the best hamburgers, but no longer there. But then good things happen at Langston because Langston is working for their dream.
That's right, and things are happening on the show because we have our reporter on the line. Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Oh, Fluky McDaniel.
All right, Fluky, how you doing?
Doing fine.
Good, welcome. Man, you really doing a fantastic job. We were there. We were several places. People say, I want to hear them words of wisdom. Where are you getting those words of wisdom from? I say, now, I'll ask him on the air, but I bet you this, he's not going to tell you. Way to go, Fluky. Thanks for being a part of the show on a beautiful Saturday morning right here in our own city, in Oklahoma City, going across this state in several different ways. KTLV, Fluky McDaniels, Words of Wisdom.
All right.
We're ready.
In the ways of life, it's always too soon to quit. In the race of life, it is always too soon to quit.
Repeat that one more time for me.
In the race of life,
In the race of life,
it's almost always too soon to quit.
I'm sure we needed that, Kevin.
Well, I tell you,
In the race of life,
I tell you.
it's always too soon to quit.
Let me do this now because I know there are some people that listen to the show. We tell them at the start to get your pencil and your paper ready. They say last week when you were talking about the truth, they were fumbling around trying to find the pen and paper to write down that you said about the truth and how the truth will make people. Well, you know what it was. They know what it was. So Fluky, I've given them an opportunity now. They got it all together. In the race of, will you say the words of wisdom for this week again for me?
In the race of life, it's always too soon to quit.
It's always too soon to quit.
Yeah.
Fluky McDaniel.
Thank you, so very kind.
Having in beautiful living color. Fluky, thank you so much.
All right.
All right.
That was worth waiting for there.
Sure it was. That was really
But
something.
that's how you got the job, wasn't it? How did he get this job?
He got that job because he's wise. I like wisdom. And one thing we appreciate is people that know something.
That's right, because in order to tell somebody something,
You got to
know
surround
something.
yourself with people that know something. And one thing I know, the Deltas are going to be celebrating Halloween with their 4th annual Scholarship and Masquerade Ball. Friday, October the 26th, 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. at the Ramada Inn Stars Room at the old Lincoln Plaza, the old Clara Hotel. And you are invited to be there. You can contact Gina Bostic or Betty James. Gina is the chairperson and Betty James is the co-chair. That's a Delta Sigma Theta sorority. And the Deltas always,
Your Clarence Adams and Cleophas Jones will be coordinating that event. That's October the 28th at 3 p.m. at 500 East Wilshire Boulevard. Now, that is an event.
That's an
they
event.
Got guest churches coming on.
What guest churches are
Well,
coming?
from right here in the Oklahoma City area, there's Tabitha, there's Antioch, there's Divine Guidance with Reverend House, but then coming from Texas is Reverend James McCready and his church. I don't have the name of that church.
But what are they going to do?
I have no idea, but I know that Oklahoma City won't be the same because that brotherhood there, they're active not only in the church, but outside the church. As I say, they have a fantastic outreach program, fantastic program for senior citizens, fantastic program on the food wise. Reverend Baker and his staff and those dedicated members there, they don't only talk that talk, they walk that walk.
All right.
All right.
Well,
I look forward to that.
I had the opportunity to have a tour of Clarence Adams Beauty. I don't know what to call it. It's just like a college. I've
That's
never
what
seen
it
so
is.
many people working in there in all my life. And I would like for those of you that are in the Oklahoma City area to go by Clarence Adams and look and see exactly what he's
That's what
doing.
it is. You know, Clarence has taken his knowledge and added to his knowledge continually. You know, they have so many different schools and classes that they go to during the course of the year. I think the Oklahoma State Beauticulturals League requires them to go to it. But Clarence has taken that, he's spread it down to his sons, and his sons have spread it out to people throughout the community. There are people to see that good work, see some of those people come out of Clarence Adams. I've seen them in beauty competition shows before, and they are highly competitive, they're highly talented, and then they have a willingness to learn. And so just have to pat Clarence on the back, not for only his church work, but for his community work. For over the past 30 years, he's been in business, doing it, Mom.
C.P. Wilson, my husband, and I had the opportunity to go to Luper, Oklahoma,
Luckabee, Oklahoma.
to attend the funeral service
Okay.
of our friend who was a former president of the Oklahoma State Fair.
That's right.
That's he was really a friend and did
Mr.
everything that he
Holtz.
could. Yes, Mr.
Yeah.
Holtz was a friend of ours, and we had the opportunity to go down to Lucker and say join hundreds of people. They say that was the largest funeral that's ever been held in that town.
He was a dynamic young man. My experiences with him were primarily there through the state fair, and I know that that first year when all that rain was coming, there comes a guy that's over the fair, comes by in the tent with us, and helped us with the brooms and pushing the water off the tent. But then his most encouraging words was, "Don't quit. That this thing will get better." And we're just glad that you're here and glad that you're part of the state fair. And every year since then, Mom, every year,
He's
he's
been
been there and come by with an encouraging word. He comes by early, and then he come back with his family. Then he come back with his family and friends, and then he'll come back with more people and all that. Not only because we have a good product, but I think that he knows that he played such an important role in the development, not only of CP's Catfish, Miss Merlin's Gumbo, Bean, and Rice, because when he come up in that executive cart, people would stop and look, and it's sort of like a truck stop. If you see a lot of trucks there, you know the food is good, and that's what it was, what it is, at the Great Oklahoma State Fair at CP's Catfish, Miss Merlin's Gumbo. But one thing we can say, that Mr. Holtz played a fantastic role in encouraging us and motivating us, and little suggestions here and there, because he was in the business much longer than we had been, but he always had something good to say. Any improvements that we did on the physical structure, he noticed when we had a new trailer, he noticed when we had new tables or something, he could tell by the line, but he was always encouraging. And I'm really going to miss that young man, but one thing I'm going to always remember will be the lessons that he taught us there at the state fair, and also about things in life at Lookerby, Oklahoma. He loved that part of the country too. We
It's a beautiful part of the country. I had never been to Lookerby, Oklahoma. I really appreciate looking at the landscapes and the rocks. Oklahoma has a bit of everything to it, and I really enjoy it. I also enjoyed seeing all of the people, the outstanding people that came back home to Lookerby, Oklahoma.
That was quite a crowd.
It was quite a
Quite a
crowd.
crowd.
It
Well-
was quite a crowd.
Well,
We
let
were
the
happy.
family. I know that you told the family, and let's do it publicly, that we appreciate him. We love him. We're definitely going to miss him, but we will remember his teachings along with you. His son, I think his name was Dave. Dave, yeah. Amen. We'll see you. But we want you to know I know that you all will remain strong, but we want to be able to be an encouraging part to you now, because your dad has done so much to encourage all of us. Good things happen when you're at the Clara Luper radio show. Not only are they good, they're surprising. But then that's what happens. Brother Holtz, we miss you. The family, we miss you. But that's what it's all about. Mom, let me take this opportunity too now to remind you that at Allstate Insurance, 730 West Britton Road, Merlin Hildreth's office there. She's the agent in charge. We have the very best in home insurance, life insurance, motorcycle insurance, bus insurance, any and all of your insurance needs. We can take care of it there. 730 West Britton Road here in Oklahoma City. We're in the process of doing some things here. We have a new guest to come in, and we got a new cameraman at the radio station. Of course, we got a cameraman at the radio station, because KTLV is growing. Thanks to all of you listeners. Want you to know 1220 is on your AM dial. I'll come back with you in a minute on your E2 dial, your WW dot dial, so that you can be a part of the Clara Luper Radio Show. Not only listening to us, but you can see us at our very best and our handsomeness, and how tough and how beautiful and how black the blackberry juice is that Mom talks about here on the radio.
Calvin, I am very fortunate. Someone came up to me and said, "Miss Luper, you're rich, aren't you?" I said, "Sure, I'm rich. I am rich
It wasn't
because
your banker, was it?
No, it was not my banker.
Okay.
I am rich because I have so many children. They come in all sizes, all colors, and they are so successful. And today I have one of my favorite ones here. I have a favorite one here today, and he came to help me out because I wanted to talk about something that I didn't know anything about. Calvin, do you know who my guest is? Do you
Wow.
know?
I know everything. Anything I don't know, I ask, and I don't have to ask because we're talking about someone who've been knowing each other all our lives. Look like, well, I know definitely because Fifth Street Baptist Church own, little,
And who is our guest?
little John Raw, little baby John. No, no, John, what's happening, my man? It's still good to
Good
see you
morning.
here.
How's everybody doing this morning?
Fantastic, fantastic. We testing the mic here. But John Rolfe Jr., welcome to the Clara Luper Radio Show. Notice the first time Mama told me you're going to be a guest, I said, John going to talk on the radio. She said he's ready, and he's definitely ready.
Give it a try.
Man, that gray hair looks good on you.
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
That's what's
Tell
good.
him the same thing.
Well, he does. He does. It
Yeah.
looks very good.
Oh, man. Tell
John,
Sarah.
excuse me, you and Calvin are going to have to wait until later to talk because I've invited you here because I wanted to talk about something that we all are going to have to experience. It is a fact that we all are going to die. And I wanted you to come out and explain some things that I don't understand. For example, I'm from Hoffman, Oklahoma, and when people died that was not able to bury themselves, the people in Okmulgee County would give them a coffin. Tell me about what happens to a person who's not able to pay their burial expenses.
What you can do, depending upon which county you live in, is you can talk. First, you have to go to a funeral home, and then you speak with the funeral director. They will call up the county office in that particular county, make an appointment for you to go in and talk to them. They have certain qualifications for you to be able to pass, and if you pass them, what they will do is provide you either with a cremation. Cremation is now what they use, or you can qualify for certain burial allowances. This helps the families in cases where they don't have the money to pay a funeral home directly.
All right, now you mean a cremation? The county will pay for a cremation.
Yes.
How about the thing that you put, the urn that you put the ashes in?
The crematories themselves supply the urns. You can get the urn from them. Usually it's a plastic type container that the cremains are placed into.
Okay, you can get that from the
Crematory.
crematory society.
Yes.
All right, now let's talk about insurance. Do you have in your company, and you're one of the oldest companies in Oklahoma City?
Yes.
You are. Your company was founded when?
1935.
1935. It's been passed on from generation to generation. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, now, do you have any kind of burial policy for people?
The state has allowed funeral homes to have old burial policies at the present time.
What kind?
They're burial policies. Basically, what the burial policy is, it allows you to have a $200 discount at the time that the family needs that service. You can join it. Most funeral homes don't even sell them anymore because the $200 is the highest amount that you can get from the old burials in the funeral homes. They now have a lot of different burial plans that are called burial pre-need type plans, but it's not like the ones that are backed by the state. The $200 policy is the ones that the state backs up. What that basically is a $200 discount.
All right, but you have burial plans?
Yes.
I don't understand.
We have agents who sell insurance plans, pre-need plans. The insurance plans can be considered as straight life insurance or whole life insurance. Some of them are even called annuity type plans. Also, you can talk to different agents, just like as Calvin was talking about earlier. His sister, I'm sure, has different types of insurance plans that are available for people to use in times of need for burial.
But they are too expensive, those burial plans.
Well, the secret to everything nowadays is the younger you are, the less it's going to cost. The older you are, the more it's going to cost. That's just standard.
Does it cost more to bury an old person than it does a young one?
No.
It doesn't?
No,
It's all about the same, right?
it's all the same. It just depends upon what kind of service you want to have, what kind of casket you want to have.
Okay, so you can determine what determines the kind of casket that you can have.
What determines the type of casket you desire, it depends upon how much money you really want to spend. Uh, we have caskets that start at $350 and they go up as high as $10,000. So it's just really a matter of what type of casket you like to have.
So many of us buy things on time. Can a family buy a casket on time, pay $1 down and $1 a year on that kind of philosophy?
You can't specifically do it for a casket, but you can do it for a burial plan. It just depends upon what type of plan the funeral home offers. The best thing to do is to go to the funeral home that you want to use and talk to the agents in that funeral home and see what they have that is available.
All right, now I sure would. If they put me in a $10,000 casket on a down payment, I would suffer from amnesia, and you'd be left holding the bag. I sure wouldn't take a chance if I were a funeral director, but I'm not. Okay, now John, in this kind of business, how do you stay in this business?
Stay in the business? Well, nowadays it's becoming very competitive. We offer the service, and as long as we are in the business, we will continue to try to follow the tradition that was set up by my grandfather. We try to serve the public to give them the best possible value that they can get. Also, we care for you, and we like people, and people that we know, people that we don't know. This is a service that eventually everyone's going to have to have. So we're there for your needs when the need arises.
All right, now the name of your company is what?
Roth Funeral Home.
Okay, Roth Funeral Home was once located on 4th Street. Is that right?
That's where it began, yes. 4th and High.
Was your grandfather the one that used to peddle brooms in Oklahoma City?
Yes, that was Robert H. Roth.
And Robert H. Roth sold brooms, and he was one of the founders of the 5th Street Baptist Church. And then he decided to go into the funeral business.
Yes.
And you were on Northeast 4th Street. And after you left Northeast 4th Street, where did you go?
Then we went to Northeast 10th Street.
Northeast 10th Street.
Yes.
Okay, how long were you on Northeast 10th Street?
We were at Northeast 10th Street for approximately 20 plus years.
And then you left Northeast 10th Street.
Yes.
Where did you go?
Now we're at Northeast 36 and Bryant in Oklahoma City.
Okay. Now you have gone all of these places, and you've been able to keep it together. Excuse me. Excuse me. Okay. Now you are at Northeast 36, and where are you on Northeast 36?
Northeast 36 and Bryant. The physical address is 2936 Northeast 36th Street. Or if you were on Interstate 35 and got off on the Northeast 36th Street exit, we are on the east side of Interstate 35.
Tell him, John. So we on the east side of I-35.
You on what side?
He's on the east side.
East side.
Of I-35. Okay,
It's
now
so
you're...
good to see this, and Mom, I'm looking at we're doing some experimenting, John. That's why I'm running in and out. But we are getting ready for our webcasting probabilities coming up. So the camera's on, mic's on. And I'm just sitting there and I'm listening, and I'm visualizing little John back in our early Bible school days at 5th Street Baptist Church. And then one thing that came to my mind is how those of us who were younger didn't understand the need to have, for funeral homes. It was you caught a lot of harassment for being a member of the Roth family, didn't you?
Yes, growing up. Well, just kid play.
Kid play, right?
Yes.
But then as the times have come on, you've been such an important part to all of us who grew up with you. Like our families have had a need for your knowledge. If you hadn't had that that's what I want to lead to, the stick-to-itiveness to stay in the business. How did you do that? And to those young people who are listening, who may be getting harassed by what their family may be into, or do you have some words that you can tell them on how to do maintaining a family business? That's what it is.
Well, in this type of business, you kind of grow up, and people have a lot of jokes and things to say. But once you're around the business, you begin to see that it is an important part of society. There's something that we're going to have to do. Also, from history, uh, in the black neighborhood, your churches and your funeral homes have always been staple businesses, organizations that are going to be there. There's something that you're going to have eventually. I personally, I had thought about doing other things in life, but the longer I was around the business, uh, I began to develop a liking for being able to help people. And that's one of the things about it, is that it gives you an opportunity to help people, and you kind of develop the sense of you want to help people, and also it is an art. It's something that everybody can't do. I've had an
That's right
opportunity
about that.
to train a lot of people, and there are people who have the ability to do it, but there are also some people that are just once they're in it, they are not able to do quite everything. It is more to it than riding around in a nice, long, pretty car and wearing a suit every day. It's a little bit more involved than that.
Oh, definitely. Well, we're running down on the time there. What? Mom has a question.
How do you keep from becoming emotional involved in that kind of business?
You don't. Because personally, it's very difficult. During the time I've lost a son within the last 4 years, it was extremely difficult. I did have to carry on with business, but it's just something you have to do. We are not inhuman. We are human. We feel, we hurt. And when I bury my friends, it hurts a lot. And then it really makes you think a lot also. It means that eventually your time's going to come. So it's just one of those things you just have to be strong and go on.
It's easy to talk, but what training have you had to qualify you to be? You are now the president of the funeral
Well,
home.
I am the CEO.
The
John Adams
CEO.
is the president.
Okay, John Adams is the president. You are the CEO. What kind of training do you have?
I went to Central State. It's now called the University of Central Oklahoma.
Right.
But during the time I went to school, it was called Central State. And I went to school for 4 years. I studied under the funeral service direction. And then I've been in funeral service the last 35 years. So I've gained most of my personal knowledge from actually working around the funeral home. But to be licensed in the state of Oklahoma, you have to go to school for 4 years, either in Oklahoma or out-of-state funeral homes.
Do you have to pass a test?
Oh, yes, you have to be licensed.
You have to be licensed.
Yes.
Oh my goodness,
Yes,
that's really something.
I glory. I look back at as I say, we go back a long way. You said 35 years. No, we weren't number 15 years old, and I go back further than that.
Oh, that's
and I
true.
know that there's been some difficult times in both our lives where, if it hadn't been for your steadiness, that I think all of us that were there, I'm thinking, I know that you played football at Douglas High School in Oklahoma City there on Northeastern, and I know that the members of the football teams and their families, and all of us have been touched by the death angel. And if it hadn't been for your steadiness and for your professionalism and your family's dedication to good service, I don't know, it'd be some very sick people here in Oklahoma City. But I just want to say thanks for coming out, John. I'm so
glad to
surprised.
be here.
But-
Very glad
We got
to
a
be here.
tape working.
But I
we got
think that
TV working.
the Ross are more than funeral
They
directors.
definitely are.
They have been a part of this community. I don't care what you're talking about. They've been involved. And certainly those of us that have been involved in the NACP, in Freedom Center, in Miss Black Oklahoma, and the Soul Bazaar, owe our success to them because they have supported us with everything they have. I never shall forget one time we were not able to make our ends meet, and I went down to Ross and borrowed some money.
Yeah.
Yes, I borrowed. I needed about, I think it was $100, and they didn't even question me, and they loaned me $100. It's been about 30 years ago, and I have never forgotten that. And if you ever need some money, all you have to do is to see Calvin, because he might be getting paid for his singing. And Calvin, last week we had a hard time.
Didn't
John,
make a
thank you.
mistake last
You
week.
made the mistake of your life
That
last
was my first
week.
mistake all year, though, Mom.
but you aren't perfect.
I know it.
John, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
And you know I love you.
I
I
love you
consider you
too.
as one of my children. You know, I'm so rich with so
Should.
many children. All these
Should
things. Right.
We
Okay.
go a long way back.
But
You know,
Calvin,
we
last
were not
week you forgot Mrs.
I
Bosie
didn't
Walker's
forget. I
birthday.
didn't forget. I just forgot to write it down. I didn't forget it was a birthday. I knew something was happening. I told everybody. I said
Miss-
something I'm forgetting, and lo and behold, it's Mrs. Bosie Walker's birthday.
What did she
turned-
say to you?
Well, no, I'm not gonna say
Don't
what she
you
said.
tell her
'Cause I
how-
can't repeat that. But I do know that she did get roses for her birthday. She did enjoy dinner there at the Freedom Center. But she did miss getting a blessing. She's a tremendously important young lady, not only at the NACP, not only there at a church, but especially in our lives and especially my life. She charges me, but she's great, and I enjoy.
Are you going to charge her to sing happy birthday for you
She's
today?
paid her dues, Mom. I owe her this.
Okay.
Hey, I'm running close on time, but this goes to Mrs. Bosie Walker, and this song is especially for you. It hasn't been the words you've heard before, but never have you heard them like this.
Sing it, Calvin, because somebody told me that you sure couldn't sing.
Well, they were wrong, Mom, 'cause I want you to know that. Happy birthday, Bosie May Walker. Happy birthday, Mrs. Walker. Happy birthday to you, and may you have many more.
What's the name of your group, Calvin?
Mom, I'm a proud member of the We Can't Singers, and we originated here in Oklahoma City, and we're available for special events, birthday parties, celebrations of any type. Just give us a call, 424-3949-843-0811. We'll be there, and we come.
Do you charge, Calvin?
We charge.
This is the Clara Luper Radio Show, and I'm very grateful to all of you that have been here today with us. We appreciate you. And starting the first Saturday in November, we will be giving away all kind of prizes. I'm going to give
Chitlins.
away over 1,000 pounds of chitlins. Chitlins. I'm giving away hams. I'm giving
They're not
away
cooked, though,
turkey.
Mom. Let 'em
No,
know
they
we're
aren't cooked.
They're not cooked. Okay.
And there's a lady that didn't get her chitlins last year, and I don't know whether
she
she's going to
can't
get them
answer
this
the
year.
question again this year.
Okay,
What
and
about
those-
the turkey? You got turkey coming?
Yeah, I'm giving away
And where's all
turkeys.
this
I'm giving
coming
away
from?
chicken. Oh, I'm not going to tell you. I'll tell you next week. And then we have a lot of people that will be expressing holiday greetings to each one of you out in Radio Land. And that's a good way to do your holiday greetings, because you can't write letters to everybody, but you can tell them on the Clara Luper Radio Show, happy holiday. Call me at 424-3949. And this is Clara Luper saying to you, wherever you are, remember that you're going to die, and you better get you some insurance, because it sure is hard for people to give donations to help bury somebody. This is Clara Luper. Bye-bye.